channel using one of those voice things or whatever. Nobody knew who she was. Everybody believed it was me.
Chris Fowler, joined as always by Kirk Herbstreit. In the playoff
She was threatening to come
we've got a tremendous on-campus environment. Can't wait to get this one started. The kickoff team is out there, and here we go. The college football playoff about to get underway. He's going to return it from near the goal line. Gets it to the 25-yard line. That's where they start the drive. The Tigers offense has the football first here. And as this quarterback takes the field, eager to see how he plays today. There's a certain gravity about him. You can tell from the world song. He responds and rallies around him. Can he come through the big stage here?
Yeah, this guy is their superstar. When that opening kickoff is kicked up into the air, his camp goes on. He sets everything into place. Gets the offense out of jams, does it in pressure situations. He's the arms and legs of this offensive system, but also the heart of this team.
The defense all over. They stop him right at the line.
They're just trying to establish the run. There's not much there, but give credit to that defensive line and those linebackers attacking the line of scrimmage to negate any chance at all.
Just underway, and this home crowd
Okay,
is
dude.
fired up and ready to make a difference today.
Specific song.
Scanning the field, it's
saying, yo, that song was made months beforehand.
Quarterback finds an open target on the left side.
Well, they don't pick up the first down here, but if you can use the quick
They
passing
want
game
3
to stay
separate
ahead of the
flights.
chain.
He was just trying to get to UAE, and he didn't want to go on economy, so he booked a separate private jet. So the other economy flight was still on record to go to Switzerland or whatever. He never wanted to go to Switzerland. Switzerland was not a decoy, and neither was Italy. You're going to see everything. This helps us get a glimpse of what his defense team is going to do, how they're going to approach this case and actually fight it. I honestly don't see a plea happening at this point because there's a trial date set. Apparently this trial is supposed to happen in January. I don't believe that at all.
Damn, the trial.
Alright, here we go. United States District Court, Central District of California. Dirk Banks' notice of filing of the exhibits in support of request for pretrial release. Dated December 15, Dirk Banks, through his attorneys Drew Findling, Marissa Goldberg, Jonathan Brayman, and Christy O'Connor hereby files the following exhibits. Reference to the December 12, 2024 detention hearing. Exhibit A, flight records. Exhibit B, Neighborhood Heroes Foundation annual report. Exhibit C, affidavit and accompanying screenshots of timestamps. Alright, here we go. Exhibit A, the e-ticket itinerary. Fort Lauderdale to Newark on October 24th. So he was arrested on the same day, right? No, he was arrested on October 17th. And then it's a layover from Newark to Zurich, Switzerland, and then Switzerland to Dubai. So he wasn't booking 3 different flights as decoys. Remember, this is what the feds are saying about his flights, what they're insinuating. Shortly after making these arrests and issuing the search warrants on October 24th, FBI received notifications from U.S. Customs and Border Protection showing that Banks had been booked as a passenger on 2 international flights. A one-way flight from Miami to Dubai, connecting through Doha, Qatar, scheduled to depart the evening of October 24th, and a one-way flight from Fort Lauderdale to Switzerland, connecting via New Jersey, also scheduled to depart the evening of October 24th. Now, October 24th is 7 days after he was arrested. He never boarded the flights. At approximately 6:40 p.m., the FBI received an additional CBP notification that Banks had been booked as a passenger in a private plane departing Miami and destined for Italy, scheduled to depart at approximately 9 p.m. And then at 8 p.m. before that flight, he was arrested in the vicinity of the airport on the 17th. So they got him on United Economy, boys. Ain't no way in hell Dirk is flying United Economy. Here's what Dirk's lawyer has to say about him allegedly fleeing. Findling further argued that Banks wasn't trying to flee the country when he was arrested with luggage near Miami airport last October. The same day, authorities started arresting his alleged co-conspirators in the underlying indictment. An affidavit and FBI agent previously wrote that Banks had been booked that day on a separate one-way flight to Switzerland and Dubai. Banks then boarded those flights and was arrested trying to board a private jet for Italy. According to his lawyer, Banks simply made various reservations that all shared the same goal of getting him to UAE, a destination he frequently visited for his work in the music industry and his Muslim faith. When Banks realized he could only get economy class for the journey with multiple stops, he decided to book a private jet instead, his lawyer said. Banks was set to stop in Italy and then immediately continue on to UAE. This is a great explanation that I didn't think of. The private jet to Italy wasn't just another location he was trying to flee to, it was a fucking stop to get to UAE. So it's not as suspicious anymore. Berg hired some good lawyers. Findling said prosecutors have not been able to put their finger on anything. His client did that supports a criminal charge. He said his client truly has nothing to do with the separate murder case in Chicago involving the January 22 shooting death of Stephon Mack, Dirk obviously hasn't been charged for that. They have to have more evidence because I'm pretty sure all they had was the text messages of someone saying to Dirk and lyrics. I don't think that's enough to charge someone for the crime. That's other people our client has nothing to do with. That's not part of our case. We can only address what we have. Except for the only thing we have is the indictment in California. Assistant U.S. Attorney argued against Banks' release even on home confinement with electronic monitoring. As the allegations in this case make abundantly clear, Mr. Banks wasn't on the street pulling the trigger. He was the one who allegedly orchestrated the murder for hire. He was given the green light to book the flights. As one of the associates was booking the flights for 5 co-conspirators to fly to LA to commit the murder, Mr. Banks sent a text saying not to put his name on those flights. The text, dude, I don't think the text messages are enough. Do they have more evidence? Suddenly taking a turn for Dirk. This paragraph is a bad look, though. Dirk flew in on a private jet with another alleged co-conspirator, Kayvon Lemon Grant. The indictment claims Grant allegedly is the one that purchased ski masks for the shooters and used credit card and Banks' name to pay for the other men's hotel room. That's a bad look. He flew in that day. It's the guy that did all that. Exhibit B was like just his charity shit. They were just trying to show the judge he's a member of the community. Exhibit C, this is where things get spicy, boys. Declaration of Justin redacted. I'm a producer and sound engineer. I've been working with Mr. Banks since 2021 in a professional capacity. I make this declaration in support of Mr. Banks. I have personal knowledge of the matter set forth in this declaration and am willing and able to testify regarding the below evidentiary hearing set by this court. I'm professionally known as Just Vibes. I've been working with Mr. Banks since 2021 when we met at a recording studio operated by Sony Music, formerly known as Triangle Sound Studios in Atlanta, Georgia. At the time, I was honored to work with him, and we have maintained a successful relationship. I'm his main sound engineer. Since 2021, we have recorded several albums and high-charting records. On January 25th, I had recorded a song with Mr. Banks where we recorded the song Wonderful Wayne and Jackie Boy, which at the time we called Too Toxic. I loaded the song up around 5:39 p.m. Mr. Banks then wrote the verse right there in the studio, and we recorded the song and finished it in less than an hour. So sound engineer is pulling out with file names, the original file names, because that's usually what happens. I've seen that. Artists don't know the title of the song yet for months, so they just name it something random when they're in the studio. Once we recorded the song, I bounced out a rough draft, in parentheses, saved a copy in audio format, and named it Toxic Babyface featuring Lil Durk at 6:33 p.m. After that, we continued with the rest of the session. Attaching to this affidavit are screenshots of timestamps on the original project file, and the audio file I received, and the saved version of the file. I declare under the penalty of perjury under the laws of the United States that the foregoing is true and correct. So January 25th, 2022, you see that date, right? That's 7 months before the murder, and they have proof that they recorded the song 7 months before the murder. How could he predict the future? He can't. And here's the files. Too Toxic at 5:39 p.m. January 25th, 2022. And then he saves it 6:34 p.m. Toxic Babyface featuring Lizard. And he even has the Pro Tools session. These types of files are hard to. I don't think you can even change these. These are just saved. You'd have to be a real nerd to know how to change these. Like go into the data of the files or something, dude. Like deep. I don't even know if that's possible. Screenshots usually don't feel well in court. Like they're really easy to argue against because they could be changed. But either way, this is a W for sure. The judge had this all beforehand, so they were still like, fuck no, you're not getting out. When it was Finley's turn to address the court, a high-powered lawyer known for representing Youngboy, Cardi B, and President Trump said the alleged smoking gun in the government's indictment was defective. Listen up, here we go. He was referring to the government's allegation that Robinson's death, Banks sought to commercialize the shooting by rapping about his revenge on Bowman. The indictment references Banks' song Wonderful Wayne and Jackie Boy, released in December 22 with Babyface Ray. And the song Bank raps, look on the news and see your son. You screaming, no, no. Prosecutors claim reference to Bowman seeing Robinson's dead body. Talking about Hondo Rondo screaming, no, no in that news clip. Finley said the song was recorded months before the shooting and offered a sworn declaration from the song's producer, Justin Gibson. The proverbial smoking gun is that the incident takes place, and then months later, Mr. Banks puts out a song to celebrate it and commercialize it. That song was recorded approximately 8 months before the incident took place. We have all the timestamps from the producer. This took place not in August 2022, when the shooting took place. This music was produced, these lyrics performed by my client approximately 7 months before in January of 22. And this completely blindsided the federal attorneys. Reporters were saying they were shocked in the courtroom. They were like, wait, what? Like their faces, they were like, oh shit. So yeah, this doesn't really matter because his bond's still denied, but it shows a little bit of a glimpse of what his defense's case is going to be, and they're going to be fighting, obviously. He's not taking no plea. Apparently a trial date is already set for January, but I highly doubt that's going to happen. I call cap on that, to be honest. But his defense lawyers are fighting, and they got fucking engineers pulling up dates and times of files, dude, which is what they need exactly. I've been saying that for Thug's case this whole time, dude. And the fact that the flights were layovers, and they weren't him just flying to anywhere to try to flee, is also a good defense, in my opinion. Comment down below what you guys think. Hit subscribe. Love you guys. Thanks for the support. Peace out.
Put something together in this drive. You start the drive with a quick throw to the left side. Defense reacts quickly. A very short gain on the play.
Well, anytime an offensive coordinator calls a wide receiver screen, he's trying to get offensive linemen out in front of the receiver to create a wall so that receiver can pick a lane to run through. How about the defense here, though? That's called team pursuit and swarming to the football. They didn't give him any lanes, so not much yards downfield for the receiver.
Here's the second down play. Back to pass. It's back. Extending the play now. Slides to avoid the big hit. They crank up the tempo here for this important third down play. Here's the snap. Looking to throw here. It's picked off. He tried to fire the ball into a tight window. Takes the pick to the end zone. Touchdown, Tigers.
Great job here by the backer, just mirroring the quarterback, reading his eyes, and then stepping in front of that throw. Comes up with it, and then he goes back to high school, shows you what he can do with a ball in his hands, takes it in for a touchdown.
And the extra point makes it a 3-touchdown lead. Now the kickoff team is out on the field.
Georgia, 0.
Fields it inside the 5-yard line. Coverage team brings down the returner. And the Bulldogs offense is back out on the field. They're in a hole here before they have a chance to regroup at halftime. Let's see if they can cut into this big lead. So the first play of the drive here coming up, less than 2 minutes left on the clock. And looking to throw now on first down. And it's incomplete. The defender arrived the same time as the football. And now it's second down. There's the snap. Quarterback setting up to throw. Caught in the backfield. It's ETN.
Again, this is a really nice job here by the defense, keeping everything in front of them in that situation. Now they're rewarded with this third
You got
and
video
long.
of
We'll see if they
people
do the
at your
same
house,
thing here,
but that's
or
weird.
they're going to sell out and
That
bring
you
the
record
pressure.
it. But hey, Ed came out and
On
made
third
content.
down, he drops to throw.
That's weird, but hey,
Sacked.
I get
It's a
it.
loss back to
Because
the
nowadays you gotta have recording,
And now
you
the
gotta
defense
have
will call a
receipts. If you
timeout
don't,
here. There's
people will
something
say
they
you're
didn't like
lying.
about that look, and they'll make an adjustment
cares
for this important play.
if they send
The
me?
Bulldogs will bring their punt
That
team
may
onto
be
the field.
weird, but
It's a
hey,
rough series for the offense, and now
you
he's
got
on
your
to punt it away.
documentation or whatever.
And the ball is away from
But
inside
no,
When
the
you
it
show
wasn't.
receipts, they're gonna say you're
I'm
lying.
not
They
saying
say
it's
you
like
made it up. It's
some of
AI.
them emails are saying that shit. I'm like, what the fuck?
Now they finally get him, but he found a nice lane in that return. This drive starts in good position.
Somebody was like, he
Comes the
got a whole
Tigers
video
offense
of
back
the
out
people
there.
having it out.
They've really built
Really?
momentum in this game. They've been hard to stop. Can the
Because
defense
when
make
I
some
called
adjustments? Come up with a
the
stop here.
young lady
Receiver
that
looks it
was
in. It's complete.
Well, it's a
Where
great
is she?
catch near the
She's
sideline,
somewhere.
and does a
I
good
gave
job of
that's
getting
my
her
name.
foot
I
down to
gave
secure
them
the
my
catch.
That completion makes it second in medium. Back to pass. It's Hennigan.
But anyway, this is all this
Misses his mark there.
control for life
Nice
for
catch
me.
here, but a missed opportunity
What's
for
it sound like,
interception.
Leah?
Let's face it, a lot
Oh
of these
no,
defenders,
she doesn't
they've
have
got it all.
any
Speed,
hate for him.
athleticism, but hands, sometimes a little questionable, as we saw here.
Finds that big tight
At
end for a
first,
short
yeah.
pass. Brought down
But
to
she
the
thought I was
27.
doing
It's
it
a
because
first
of
down. This offense really
the
threatening
drop
now.
backs and all of that. She
New
felt
set
like
of
I was
downs
just
after
doing it
that completion.
to get everything like that. I'm
First
like,
down.
oh
They
no,
just throw the football.
I thought,
Incomplete.
how
Good
far
defensive play.
to
Brings that second down.
So, you know, I did it because of what I saw in that video. You know, it was concerning. But you got a receipt. They still say you exactly.
Looking to
You
throw.
drop receipts. Then they
He's
get
gonna
mad
fling
at you
it
and they
deep,
flag
going
your
for it
fucking
all
video.
here.
I dropped
Touchdown,
receipts because
Memphis.
motherfuckers was saying I was
Still
lying.
no answer for this
I
offense.
showed every email. Well, not
What a
every.
play.
I showed
Man, this
one
defense,
in
they
each
better
email.
watch out for this tight end
Email
today. It's
alert.
proven right there how
Because I got
easily he can
most
slip
of
behind
them.
and get lost
Some
in
of them
coverage.
was
And if
more
that
than one
happens, this
are the
quarterback's
same
going to find him and make
email.
you pay.
But I tried to show y'all at least one email from each email alert.
Oh, this
And
is
motherfuckers got so mad. They went and flagged the
this
fucking video.
LTG.
Talking about I'm showing personal information and shit. I'm just like, you know something? Fuck
Here comes the point after attempt.
at this point. I missed
Extra
all of
point
that.
makes it
Thankfully,
28.
yeah, I don't think I
Oh
knew.
yeah, I'm listening to
I'm trying to
LTG.
move you came around. These parts, I think you can. I don't think. But yeah, it was way after you came around.
I just like like a couple of months ago, a black woman on TikTok had said something about me, and I did a video response to her. And that was misogyny, because I didn't make no video response to him. Because I didn't make, because knuckleheads like this guy have been bothering me forever, and I never made a response video.
No. So what she's saying is that because she responded to a woman that had an opinion regarding a ridiculous situation, that is misogyny. First and foremost, shout out to the queen of accountability, the celebrity podcast right up here on YouTube, for giving us yet another update for the road of Brickface Osmond situation. If you're unfamiliar, she was the lovely young lady that claimed that she got hit in the face with a brick as other black men stood back and watched her.
I don't know how she got that knot right there, but that motherfucker was terrible. I hope it was
and then came under scrutiny for
that was a real
wrong. Now she's being charged for it. I wanted to go up this quick update in regards to what's going on with her cases. So many of you guys continue to ask me. The Rudder case is coming to a close soon. They're in the final phase. Her next court date, she can plead or go to trial, or the case could get dismissed. The courts have given her 2 court dates, one for the felony theft, $40,000 for the GoFundMe, and then the other one is the misdemeanor for giving a false name to a peace officer, right? The 2 cases, one is going to be on the 7th of January, and the other one's going to be on the 8th of January. It's going to be an interesting 2 days for both our criminal cases. In Texas, she goes to trial and she loses, she will face 2 to 10 years for the fraud, right? Because we determined that it was $40,000 worth of fraud is a felony. If she loses her misdemeanor case for giving the false name, she could face up to 180 days in jail, right? Now, within that, she's already on probation as a lengthy criminal record. If she goes to trial, there's a possibility that I may have to testify. If you guys remember during that whole situation, the brick-faced woman actually threatened Daphne, posted it publicly to her Instagram, so they may have to subpoena Celebrity Podcast to come up and to give a statement. So let's hope that she takes the plea deal. Stay tuned. So recently, this lovely young woman went up to the Anton Daniels show where they conduct group discussions. She went up on there, just have a regular conversation regarding pop culture topics today. So the conversation initially starts out on this TikTok viral thing of 50-50 relationships, but then it goes extremely downhill from that. And the reason I want to go over that is that it continues to show the type of behavior or demeanor that young men today should stay 1,000 feet from. So listen up, pay attention, and let's get active. So Brickaholic is right down here on the lower left, and she is now entered into the 50-50 conversation.
I think that we also have to like talk about whether a wife or a girlfriend, all of the unpaid labor that comes with having a woman in the house. You know, I've been married before, I'm single now, but if I had the opportunity to be a man, I would definitely take all the rent, because I know now I'm getting meals, now I'm getting that same house. Think about it, if you paid for a cleaner, and you paid for a chef, and you paid for a nanny, and you paid for a therapist, and you paid for that, that's far more than paying the bills.
That takes the wind right out of your sails.
Paid labor is, like unpaid labor. I'm just thinking and I think it all depends on what the woman is doing in the household. But if a woman is there for you, doing the therapy, cooking the food, taking care of your kids, washing the clothes, doing all that stuff, that would cost you probably more than your full income. So now you get a house to live in as well.
Bro, this is a house that you got to build brick by brick. Okay?
Choosing to return the
not brick by brick.
Alright, that's why I asked, how long do you wait for this special Doc 2000? Alright, I feel like every dude should make a woman wait up.
Personally, I wouldn't date a man that's waiting for me to do something sexually for him to reward me any kind of way. I wouldn't date that. I wouldn't do that. I would say this, okay?
If someone was to ask me the unique question of how would Rhoda Osmond answer this 50-50 question, I would have said exactly the thing, right? Because her position only comes from the benefit of a man. The fact is that the gentleman 2K hit her with the brick by brick joke, so you already know it's about to turn up right now. But regarding 50-50, 70% of couples split household bills 50-50 when both partners earn relatively the same amount, or when one partner earns just a little bit more than the other. And looking at the cost to buy average goods today on top of the current inflation rate, 50-50 split is a good approach for couples who earn about the same. If you're going to rely on one person's salary, well, you might be in the hood as opposed to a middle-income household. But her talking points completely forgo reality today to benefit the woman while not benefiting the man, which is what I expected from her. But let's get in there.
So me, I've been on my own for 15. I've been able to pay bills my whole entire life. I can pay bills by myself. To me, there's no incentive for me to live with a man if he's not paying the bills. I can take care of 100% on my own. To live with a man. If you want me to pay, if you want a roommate, homie, just say that.
And preventing that play from being bounced to the
I was
outside.
watching this woman, she got hit with a brick.
Here's the handoff.
So if you had a man, he probably won't pay rent.
He is a fool. He recognized her for the brick lady.
Yeah, I think you're really trying to be funny.
He's prolific.
He's trying to be funny. I know that. I don't know why he would bring up something that happened a year ago to me. And you know, and this is not even the topic. But if you want to talk about,
Because he made a valid point. You need protection. That's why you were going with a man. Because you said no man will protect you. And he said if you had a dude in the house, then he would be protecting you. If you got hit upside the head with a brick.
It's never a place for. There's never.
At least would have helped you call the police.
Right, it happened.
What does a man in my household paying bills have anything to do with a violent random man on the street? Whether I have a husband paying my rent or not, every woman is susceptible to be around a violent man.
That is tripping on this channel. You on this channel, you died laughing at 2K.
You're going from sex, and now you're going to violence. And maybe sex and violence are the only two things that you're able to think about.
You like asking somebody in the bricks.
Yeah, that's really
Memphis niggas.
What Fergalicious down here is failing to understand is that I agree with her to a degree, bringing up assault in light of, but it didn't happen, baby girl. Not the way that you explained it. You had far more to do within the situation than what you told investigators. And the investigator that was on the case agrees with you.
Again, you cannot hold somebody who has trouble with cohesive sentences. You went from
She insulted the Memphis nigga intelligence. He should have put her ass. I feel it.
You got to stay on topic, honey. And then I will try to follow you.
I have a question, okay.
From CTE.
2K, take it back. Do you think
He said she got CTE.
He's going to be brought down by that ferocious pass rush. Nice sack. Looks like a
Hurt his boy.
In the way of a woman that's getting a brick thrown in front of her.
no, read mortgages?
Paying mortgages.
Yes, the title.
The thing is, I think that you think you're trying to get a moment off of something that was very violent. Also, I think you think that you're funny, but you're not. And I also think that you think that you can hurt my feelings. Sweetheart, what I dealt with, you cannot hurt my feelings with these basic lame jokes. These are lame jokes, and they're pathetic. And you're like getting off topic, and you're wasting the creativity of the player. I'm gonna say something, honey. I got hit by a brick. I got locally brutalized. I got criminalized. And guess what? I'm still here, looking better than you, doing better than you. I'm still intellectual, still fine. You got hit with the head. I'm still fine. I'm not struggling with cohesiveness. Let me tell you something. You cannot hurt my feelings. So that's what you're trying to do. Stop, because you can't. All you do is remind me how strong I am and how resilient I am and how tough I am. Thank you for that reminder, because today I forgot that I was a bad bitch. So thank you for the reminder that I'm a bad bitch and I will constantly survive men like you. It's not funny. You have sisters, you have daughters, I'm pretty sure you have daughters, but you look like you don't use a condom or ever heard of one.
Well, damn, you look like you don't use a condom. What the fuck?
Right down for a touchdown. Let's see if they can do it again.
But your little late night jokes are pathetic, and they're not getting. You think you're eating, but you ate too much. You ate too much food, and you should have been reading a book, and then maybe you could have ate with talking shit to me. If you're trying to hurt my feelings, maybe it's not gonna work. Every time I think I talked about this kind of shit, all it does is remind me that I'm a dope ass, resilient, standing on business queen.
Standing on business.
You can look like a lame ass.
You got hit with a brick because you were talking shit and then you lied about it.
The conversation with the other people in this room and respect everybody's time.
They said mutual comment.
Because I say that like the way lost. I seen them take away for this last start.
over the years by trying to play.
She had listed all on
Great example of the defense.
I might have a bite or two. But guess what? I can also read and read.
Brick wall emojis down into the chat. But I want you guys to ask yourself something. Her current interaction with this man right here, do you think that the way that she just snapped back is just something that she's just doing right here within this conversation? Or is this a component of her behavior? That her being within her wounded masculine, no degree of femininity, the way how she's so argumentative, confrontational, standing on her ego as if being loud is by some stretch means of imagination of her being correct. Do you think that this is something she's just doing here? No, there's no way. She thinks that because of whatever trauma that she's dealt with men within her life, she always has to get back on behalf of women or through her trauma to these particular men. So for her, meeting the conversation fire with fire is normal, but she's standing on a lot and being strong with it. But anyway, the conversation kind of goes dead here for a couple of seconds, but then Anton comes in and begins to ask her some follow-up questions to learn more.
It's a shotgun run, Paul.
It's a nice wrap up there by the junior.
The lie is the fucking man. They lie. Well, anyways, don't worry. Y'all gonna make me some money. Y'all gonna make a bitch retired rich.
Coming to the line on
How much you get for the GoFundMe?
receivers now getting some new assignments before the snap. They'll switch it up here, looking to throw.
You're reading the headlines. You're reading the headlines from Walker.
He's wrapped up after a solid return.
The right people. Shit, maybe you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't think what they said.
Now you give this defense a chance to create a turnover, and they capitalize here with the pick.
And you're pathetic right now.
So that's all we can do is read the headlines. So that's all we get. The headlines.
Of course, in the playoffs, it's survive and win. This is a W. Great performance, and now the stage gets even bigger. The challenges will continue going forward.
More pressure on Pro as this team continues to win football games, but you and I have been around this team all year long. So impressed with the emotions and how they're able to contain themselves, stay focused on the task.
Do you think that most men are misogynistic?
They advance, cannot
I
wait
think
to watch
most
them see
people
what
are
they can do next
misogynistic,
week.
women and men included, because we're all
How can women be
in this
misogynistic?
country, especially in America or Western countries, we are all
Well, I guess they can be since they say suck my dick.
women
I
have
guess
to do
they
the work
could.
just like men to decolonize and even women have to do the work to do anti-misogyny work to become a girl's girl, to decenter, to care about.
What makes us misogynistic in your opinion?
I think, like I said, I think we're socialized to be that way. Everything in our country, we're constantly being fed things that are anti-women.
I mean, like, not according to what you think is being socialized, but as far as like
The criteria.
like what makes me misogynistic. I know that misogyny in a lot of people's instances are attached to masculinity, right?
Yeah.
I think terms thrown out like toxic masculinity, that type of stuff.
I really appreciate Anton's question here because you can't just throw out a term nowadays because so many people have different definitions of what exactly that term means. So she has a history of utilizing weaponized terms in order to get people to rally on her side. So I think that it's important that if you're going to say terms like that, and in fact say that both men and women are suffering under this patriarchal regime where misogyny is just normal, common speak and tone, then I think she should explain from her perspective the criteria or examples of misogyny.
What would make a person misogynistic? And like, as far as like, give me an example. What would that look like in 2024?
Great question.
2025.
I don't think misogyny has a look. I think it's an ideology, right?
Give an example.
It's a thought process. It's the lens that you see the world in. And if you see the world in a lens where you think that women don't, if you're following the Western world and how you're going to see it, you're going to be misogynist. Even me, myself, as a person who has a doctorate in women and gender studies, when I was in the program,